dissatisfied with your current property management company and looking to find a new one? Or have you been managing your own buildings for a while and are looking to expand into larger properties, and now you need to hire a property management company for the first time? Your property manager will be playing an important role by handling all of the day-to-day operations of your building. And so you'll want to make sure that you can hit the ground running and make that transition to a new property manager as seamless as possible. Hi everyone, this is Brandon with Coastline Equity, a property management company based out here in Southern California. And today we're going to go over our checklist of all the information that you should provide to your new property management company in order to ensure a smooth transition. We're going to go over 4 main sections: entity information, property operations, accounting, and facilities. We provide this checklist to all of our new clients during the onboarding phase, and now we want to share that with you. As a quick note, if you're simply looking to find a new management company for a building that you already own, you can simply send all of the necessary documents directly to that new company. On the other hand, if you're acquiring a new property, the seller will be the one that has all the documents related to the building, and so you and your chosen property manager will want to make sure that the seller provides all of the necessary documentation during the escrow process. All right, so let's jump into it. Entity information. The first thing that your property manager will need is all of the official documentation related to the business that owns the property. Now, this business could be you under your own personal name and as a sole proprietor, or it could be the corporation or LLC that you set up for the property. Since your property manager will be representing you in just about all things related to your real estate investment, such as leases, legal proceedings, and city permits, you should provide your new property management company with documents such as articles of incorporation, a trust certification if your property is held in trust, any kind of operating agreements that you have with other investors or members, a statement of information that you filed with the Secretary of State, your fictitious business name filing, your federal and state tax ID numbers, and the bank account information that will be used to collect rent for the property. All of this info will serve as the foundation for your new property management company to onboard you as a new client. Property operations. This next part is crucial in helping your new property manager to start running the day-to-day operations of your property as soon as your management agreement starts. They'll use the information that you provide to them to start entering data into their management software, to enter important contact information into their phone and email, and to familiarize themselves with the property. This is the information that has to do with the property operations. The first and most obvious set of info that they'll need are copies of all of the lease agreements with existing tenants. Not only will your property manager enter in all the key data into their system, but they'll also familiarize themselves with the format and nuances of those existing leases, so that they know how to handle tenant issues right away. They'll need mortgage information for any loans that you have on the building, insurance policies, contracts you have with any specific vendors, a list of preferred vendors that are not under contract but are very familiar with the ins and outs of the building, and a copy of previous invoices to help them make contact with the typical landscaper, the day porter, the go-to plumber, etc. Having all of this information ahead of time will help your property manager contact those vendors to make introductions and to start having them send any recurring invoices to the new management office. Also send them a copy of the property's last tax bill so that they can start keeping track of tax history and scheduling routine payments. Other things include a grant deed for the building that shows the transfer of ownership, which will be useful in coordinating projects with the city, a title survey, if you have one, so that there is clarity on where the boundaries of the property are and if there are any easements with adjacent properties, and lastly, warranty information for any equipment that you have at the building so that they know who to contact when something under warranty breaks. Yes, it's a lot of information to provide, but I can speak from experience when I say that it is so helpful to your property manager to have as much history, information, and documentation of the property on hand as possible when onboarding a new client. It really helps to prevent delays or confusion when working with ongoing tenant issues, the city building department on rehab projects, or with banks for financing. Accounting. Now for all the accounting documents for your building. Providing these will ensure that everything is set up and ready for the first month of financial reporting that you'll receive from your new management company. The accounting team in the property management office will need a rent roll to show a summary of all of your tenants, their start and end dates, and their current rent. They'll need a statement of security deposits that shows what deposit amounts have already been collected from the tenants, an up-to-date general ledger to show the monetary transactions that have occurred at the property, as well as a current bank statement, a trial balance, accounts receivable and accounts payable ledgers, and a profit and loss statement for the last 2 years. Finally, providing utility information and utility bills will enable the management office to transfer all of the necessary utilities into your name and ensure that all of the monthly recurring bills are sent to the new management office. All of this information will usually be handled by a separate person or team within the property management company, not the property manager themselves. Your property manager, however, will greatly appreciate receiving the items in the last section we have. Facilities. Facilities refers to all things related to accessing the physical building. Your property manager will want to make sure that they have immediate access to keys for all rentable units, utility rooms, janitorial rooms, trash enclosures, storage spaces, and security gates, as well as a key log, if available, to organize and keep track of all of those keys. Similarly, they'll need any codes that are necessary to access the building, security systems, and fire and life safety systems. A list of any landlord-owned equipment on the property, maintenance equipment, tools, and supplies will also be useful. And lastly, if you already have any kind of diagrams or instructions for any emergency equipment or turn-off valves at the building, that information will also be very helpful. So as you can see, there is a lot of information and documentation needed when switching to a different property management company or when hiring one for the very first time. But as any property manager will be able to tell you, there are a ton of minute details and bits of knowledge that go into managing the day-to-day operations of any piece of commercial real estate. And so keeping all of that information organized and ready when needed is part of the value of having a professional property management company. Did we leave anything out, or do you have any questions that we can answer? Let us know down in the comments below. And if you got any value out of this video, please click that like button and consider subscribing to our channel. We'd really appreciate it, and it will help us to continue providing value to real estate investors like yourself. From all of us here at Coastline, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.